I'm going to wake up at the butt crack of dawn and I'm going to watch the news and I'm going to put together a news briefing of what's going on in mining. I was like, that sounds terrible. But I did. So like January, not January, sorry, July 5th. It was the day after. I remember.
Good hungover podcast.
It was rough. 5 a.m. 5 a.m. put together this script.
Breakfast
I
beers.
record it. I publish it. And to this day, once in a while, I go back and listen to that episode just to remind me how terrible it was.
Hey,
it was so bad.
You started it, though.
We started it.
And that's awesome.
And so to this day, so eight years later, I'm still waking up at 5:30, Monday through Thursday, watching the news come in, putting together a script, recording it, and publishing it before the market opens. And so that is the ethos of what Mining Stock Daily.
Please help us welcome Trevor Hall to the face.
Warning, explicit content. This material may not be suitable for children. Listener discretion is advised.
Work all day. Nothing comes free. Gotta find a way. Gotta be willing to go put in some elbow grease. Cause you know nothing that you get in this life comes free. Gotta work.
Hello, miners. Hello, podcast listeners. Welcome into Mining Minds. Welcome into this episode. We're back again at the Utah Mining Association's 110th annual convention. I'm hanging out with my man, Dino Brunson.
What's happening?
And we have the privilege and opportunity to sit down with the, I would say, co-founder, owner, producer, host of the Mining Stock Daily and the CEO of Clear Commodity Network, Mr. Trevor Hall himself. Welcome in, man.
Gentlemen, it is a pleasure. And for very few times, I'm not the one asking the questions.
Well,
So don't scare the hell out of me, all right? Nothing. Keep it simple, all right?
I've got my first indicator, man. I need a deeper voice. I got to work on that. I got to start yelling before podcasts so I got that rasp.
That's a Marlboro Reds take care of that.
Oh, got you. I was going to go Camel non-filters, but...
Well, welcome in, man, and I guess walk us through. We're going to do high level. I know we're kind of short on time, but
yeah.
What did little Trevor look like? Where did you grow up? Where were you born?
Yeah, I grew up in northeast Nebraska, small town northeast Nebraska, and right on the edge of the Sandhills. And went, I was, bleed red, so always kind of knew I was going to the University of Nebraska. That's where my parents went, and literally never applied anywhere else to go to school. And I was kind of, obviously I enjoyed sports. I wasn't good at sports, let's say that. I was really kind of into I loved photography, I loved art, and was doing some theater stuff on the side. And when it was kind of funny, it was like perfect combination of not a very good jock, not a very good actor.
Nice.
But I made it work.
So you just stayed as an underwear model.
Yeah, that's right.
Gotcha.
That's right. And so journalism and broadcasting kind of fit. Like that's something I was interested in, and that's what I went and got an undergrad at the University of Nebraska in broadcasting. Went back, got a master's degree in journalism. Worked a little bit in television here and there for major networks for a couple of years, and was freelancing. And then I was in Chicago, met a girl who's now my wife, and was trying to, this working in television was you didn't know where your next gig was going to be. That was also kind of when 2008 the economy took a dump, so it was just kind of brutal. Where are you going to go? So I ended up leaving Chicago, going back to Colorado. I've got family in Colorado. I spent a season as a ski bum there before that, and so I kind of knew always loved Colorado.
Nice.
Went back there. My wife and I got married, obviously, and then funny thing happened. So I was trying to turn this video production background into something, and I decided to transition into marketing. And I landed a job at the Colorado School of Mines. And that's where I found mining. I knew nothing about it. But then when, I was working with some of the most brilliant academic minds in the entire world on this campus, and they kept on feeding me information. In fact, we were doing one project with KGHM, copper producer in Poland, and that was when they merged with, was it?
I don't know.
Quadra. Anyways, Quadra. Yeah. Thank you. And so we were doing these like transition leadership programs with them. And so that's where I found mining. I was like, wait a second. Like blow shit up and haul stuff out with big trucks and
let's go see
and
it.
like make stuff, like make rocks and copper and gold and all that stuff. I was like, and for the life of me, like I've considered myself pretty much a greenie, but I also knew I knew nothing about this industry. And for the life of me, I just couldn't quit it. I was like, feed me more, tell me more.
So what piece did you get into first? When
well,
there's
it
so
was
much
more
information.
I couldn't even tell you because it was such there was a million things coming at me all
Drinking
at the
from
same
a fire
time.
hose.
Drinking from a fire hose. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And this was before I even learned about markets. I was just learning about operations, feasibility studies. And engineering.
You were just surprised there wasn't a pick and an axe and a gold pan.
Yeah, a little bit. I ended up taking one semester. I took mine engineering 151, I think.
Good for you.
When I was at the school, and Hugh Miller, who wonderful dude. People listening probably know who Hugh is. He led the class, and we do all these the math and everything. I hadn't done math in 12 years.
Yeah.
What the hell? And I was literally I'm just taking the class for information, but I took it for a grade, and I was like, I am not I want to knock this out of the park because I'm really interested. And I was in his office hours, every week, and I'm sure he was like, dude, you just work here. You know this. What are you gonna do with this? Stop it.
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone. But so I took it, and then I ended up doing some content creation for another company out of Botswana. Ended up leaving the School of Mines and kind of going out on my own and kind of trying to figure out, where my
How did
storytelling
you land
journalism.
a job in Botswana?
No, I didn't land a job. So I was working with a company called Cooper Canyon.
Gotcha.
And they took over some assets, copper assets in Botswana. And actually, they just sold to Chinese group for gazillion dollars 2 years ago.
But you're doing video, audio.
So at that time, I was doing more social media content,
Gotcha,
putting
yeah.
stuff out there.
Yeah.
But I was trying to figure out, okay, where does this storytelling media production fit into? And that was 2017, 2018. And that was right when podcasting was you guys know that's when you guys started.
Yeah.
It's well, I guess I'll just, record something. But it's there's a few mining podcasts out there, and I wanted to focus more on markets, what's going on in exploration, because for some reason that huge risk in
it's
thing,
interesting.
in, discovering a gold mine was what's really fascinated me. And so what we did is okay, I reached out to a guy who'd been an investor in junior mining for a number of years, Dave Kranzler, great guy, lives in Denver. And I said, I want to do this. I want to create a podcast. Well, what are you going to do? There's a couple other podcasts out there. What are you going to do differently? He's like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to wake up at the butt crack of dawn, and I'm going to watch the news, and I'm going to put together a news briefing of what's going on in mining. I was like, that sounds terrible. But I did. So January, not January, sorry, July 5th. It was the day after. I remember.
Good hungover podcast.
It was rough. 5 a.m. Put together this script.
Breakfast
I
beers.
record
everything.
it. I publish it. And to this day, once in a while, I go back and listen to that episode just to remind me how terrible it was.
Hey,
it was so bad.
You started it though.
We started it.
And that's awesome.
And so to this day, so eight years later, I'm still waking up at 5:30, Monday through Thursday, watching the news come in, putting together a script, recording it, and publishing it before the market opens. And so that is the ethos of what Mining Stock Daily.
So is yours live?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, sorry. No, it is not live. It is not live.
Well, so I got to ask the question though: is it a hobby now? Is it a
No.
so now it's a job?
No, but I love it.
Yeah, well, that's what I guess what I was getting at.
Yeah. No, absolutely love it. Listen, like it's the most fascinating industry for storytelling, right?
Yeah.
Booms, busts, people, optimism, hopium, failures, markets, like really crushing souls to live or lifting you to the sky. Like it's just unreal. Like there's never a dull story.
When did you start seeing traction with the podcast, though? Like that you knew that you were
Yeah.
adding some level of value?
So I did it for 6 months for free. And then when
You weren't paying yourself?
I wasn't paying, well, I wasn't making any money. Yeah. And then, so I did it for 6 months so I could get some data together. And then I went to a few mining conferences. Like I went to Vancouver. I remember I paid my own way to Vancouver, reached out to meet a few people there, met at the bar and had beers, other entrepreneurs. And I said, hey, I'm Trevor Hall from Colorado. I'm doing a podcast. And like, I just hustled.
Yeah.
I just hustled, and like, I didn't know anybody in Vancouver. It's the exploration capital of the world, you could say. Didn't know anybody. I shook a lot of hands, asked a lot of dumb questions, made great relationships, which I still hold to this day. And that city like really took me in and adopted me in what I was trying to do.
Sounds like you're pretty consistent, though.
Well, that's the name of the game with content, right? Like if you're not consistent, you'll lose traction.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure. Yeah.
But with the human element, and you're meeting people and you're engaging people to either listen to or be on your show, there's a level of consistency that people need to see your face,
Right.
to put the name to the podcast or to the face to the podcast, but also gain traction to where what your listeners look like from the start over year one. I mean,
Oh,
are
man,
you
not
getting
many-
thousands a week or what?
No, I remember like I got excited when I got 20.
Yeah.
You know,
We
it
know
was
that
like,
feeling.
Yeah. Like, and then when I get 100, it's like I made it. Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, who
Those
listens
checks
to
are
mining
rolling in.
podcasts? I mean, your audience already is so small, it's so niche.
Yeah.
It's an interesting concept, though, because when we go out to educate and talk to people about maybe sponsoring or something like that, we're not tracking the same things that the Joe Rogans are. They're, at least for us, we're a highly niche market talking. Your customers are more valuable, I guess is
Right.
what I should say. So you might not have the million downloads or listens, but you have the quality of people that tune in that are directly accessing you
It's all
because
about ratios.
they're
Well, and I think, through this, and you two can probably piggyback on this. Not only is it fun to like tell stories within the industry that you love, and that will always continue, but you also become a student of business and the business of media.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, there's nothing like a media business. Like it is so fun, and you have complete control, and you can form it the way you want to. Like I got a lot of people who ask me, it's like, so our podcast is free. You don't have to you don't have to pay for it. We do traditional advertising, so we work with issuers, and we cover their news, we cover their stories. So when I first started, I remember I sold my first 4, kind of deals with exploration and mining companies, and I was like, I think at the time I was like I think I billed like $500 a month.
Yeah.
And I was
You're
like,
like, yeah.
and I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, we're
Like,
going Sizzler.
yeah, no, that's right. That's right. And now we're working with a lot of companies. I've built the business. Like I've hired 2 new correspondents in the last 2 months. That allows me to scale because I could always bring in more issuers to work with, like good issuers, like ones I want to work with. But I couldn't do it because there's only so much time in the day. So now I've created a business to where I can bring in more help. We can also scale and put out more content because like I am bound and determined. Like I've lived through a shitty bear market for the last 3 years. I'm not going to let this bull market go to waste in my investments and in my business.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, let's go. Because we could wake up next week and
I'll be gone.
gold's at $1,800 and my entire mining portfolio is like gone, and my wife's really pissed.
Toodaloo. Yeah.
She might be gone too. Like I knew this wasn't going to work.
Right,
You were
right.
like, I thought you said you believed in me.
So that's it. I mean, so I'm just trying to determine, like, I'm gonna go. So it's built. I mean, it's completely built. We're continuing to scale. We're getting creative.
But it sounds like you have an opportunity now to work on the business more so than in the business.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to put it. So 2 years ago, there's another gentleman has very similar content and business model as mine, Corey Fleck, KE Report. He's out of Vancouver. If you haven't talked to Corey, he's like a gem of a man.
Cool.
And him and I, for a couple of years, were like, you and I are both doing the same thing. Like, how can we work together?
Yep.
Yeah.
How can we work together without actually like
Competing.
Stepping on each other's
and
toes.
without taking something away from the other? I was like,
You got to let the ego down.
And so I literally say, like, after about 18 months of him and I just like figuring things out, talking things through, I said, Corey, what if we not compete with one another? What if we merge into a network of commodity-focused content? And when I mentioned before saying you become a student of media business, this is what was happening and continues to happen with podcasts. And my aha moment was when Conan O'Brien, when he was fired from The Late Show, kept Team Coco. And he turned Team Coco into a podcast. Like everybody's got a goddamn podcast now. But he took Team Coco, and he's got the Conan O'Brien Team Coco podcast. And he built that up. And Team Coco then built it up to like 10 different other podcast channels. And so he wrapped it up into the Team Coco network. And then he sold that thing to SiriusXM for gazillion dollars.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Caller Daddy lady, Cooper, whatever, she did this exact same thing. And somebody else is like, okay, well, this is where the media business is going. So that's what I'm going to build because nobody else is doing it.
Right.
So, okay, so how do I do this? How do I build a network? Well, that's where Corey and I started working together. It's like, okay, so we got KE Report here. We've got Mining Stock Daily, which is mine. I said, I can reach out. We'll do a uranium podcast with my friend Justin Hune, Uranium Insider. We'll do a batteries metal podcast called Power Current with Chris Berry, who's like one of the best battery metal supply chain guys out of the DC area. We'll do a coal podcast with my West Virginia Democrat coal boy, who they don't even make anymore. His name's Matt Warder. Like Matt Warder, guys like Matt Warder don't exist, and he's a gem. And then we'll do an oil. We got to have oil because if we're going to do commodities, we got to talk oil. Mm-hmm. So then we'll create the Oil Ground Up podcast, which originally was with my guy Tony Greer. He had to step away. Now we have Rory Johnston, who's a big Canadian oil guy, and he's just crushing it out of the park. So now we have like 7 produced in-house podcasts within Clear Commodity Network, produced in-house. Then we go further and we start asking our friends, such as you guys, like, hey, you guys, your direction and what you guys are covering is different from what we're doing, but we need that. Can we syndicate your shows? And grateful that you guys said yes. And so now we also have syndication. So we also do agriculture stuff. We got some agriculture syndications.
Does that mean you're paying us?
I'm not even paying myself.
I'm kidding.
But it's so now we have a network of commodity focused content that's really focused on markets, but I think you guys might be the first and only ones that's focused on the people. And
mining is such a niche market that the commodities are, in my opinion, would be a great place to start. But once you start putting the pieces of the puzzle to encompass the industry, that's the hub.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's a lot of opportunity there. Like, we have our oil podcast, Oil Ground Up with Roy Johnston. He talks oil. He talks oil markets, like the geopolitics and everything. What's pushing the price of crude?
Now, for our listeners out there, are these long-form podcasts, or are they 15, 20 minutes?
No. So Mining Stock Daily, most of it's 15 minutes, but a lot of the other ones are about an hour long, typically.
Sponsoring this episode of the podcast is Safety First Training and Consulting. Headquartered here in Elko, Nevada, but mobile enough to reach you anywhere throughout the United States. These guys can cover it all, from MSHA approved to new miner training, annual refresher courses for both surface and underground, They can help support with health testing like spirometry, respirator fit tests. They even offer courses like fall protection. So head on over to their website at safetyfirstelco.com. Check them out. Their mission is to help your crew adopt an ownership mindset. Not just do the training, but live the training safely every shift. With top-notch instructors and hands-on classes, Safety First Training and Consulting makes sure you're not just compliant, you're confident. Give these guys a visit at safetyfirstelco.com.
Yeah.
Well, you've got a recipe for success, and I think to me, this is what makes people like us one of a kind. Instead of looking at each other like a competition, and these mining companies do it quite a bit, instead of looking at each other and going, how do I steal their people, or how do I get in and step on their shoes, how do we work together? And it doesn't it doesn't go quickly. You said 18 months, I think it took you guys, or 8 months, I can't remember. But instead of looking how to compete, you looked how to work together. And that was our approach when you hit us up. I was like, I don't know what he's trying to do here, but we definitely want to collaborate. And success for everybody is, there's enough out there.
I think a lot of people were, when you talk about little collaboration, people want to go straight to dollar signs.
Sure.
Right? And I'm one of those guys where if I love what I'm doing and I believe in it, the dollar signs will come.
Yeah, same.
Sometimes it takes a lot longer than I want it to.
Sure. Yeah.
But I do believe that hard work perseveres, and as long as you stick with it, like, good things will come. And we're starting to see, so we launched ClearComm a year ago in October. It was 1 year. And I now, after 1 year, we don't have any today. We don't have any advertisers. Like, we're not cash flowing by any means.
Sure.
In fact, I'd love to get to a point where I don't have to pay for this thing to keep from.
Right.
But I have data here that says, like, look at all this work that we've done in the last year. How much content that we've put together. The people coming in. We're seeing return visitors to the website. We're seeing people clicking. Like, we'll get a huge spike on something specific that, like, catches us by surprise.
Yeah.
But we have something to show people that, this industry, not only mining, but the entire commodities complex, is of interest. People are wanting to know. They want a one-stop shop to know, what is the price of gold? What's the price of copper? What's the price of natural gas and oil? What's the price of soybeans today? We provide that. It's all right there.
Do you provide the why behind it as well?
That's the dynamic content that we provide. So yes, you come for the price action. You stay for the dynamic content that provides you the information why that's going on.
Yeah, and whatever they're interested in, that's what they pick.
That's right.
Yeah. But it's true value add.
Yeah, 100%. I was just trying to tee it up for him.
Yeah, and we're not starting. Like, I got so many ideas of what I want to do with this thing. We're just kind of continue to look for those partners that, like, see that vision.
Yeah,
and will help support it to get to that next level.
Well, that was one thing that when we communicated, this is the first time we're getting to meet face to face.
Yeah, no kidding.
But we talked over a year ago or somewhere around there, 6 months. I don't know how long it's been. It seems like it's
it was earlier in the year, I think.
Yeah. Long and short of it is Dino says, how's this going? I said, I think the vision's the same as ours. Like they're doing it for the right reasons, and their intent is in the right spot. And he's like, well, let's do it. Let's help support them. And so it feels good to hear you say that, because those are all intuitions that we have. And then obviously we have more communication, but it's good to hear that other people are out there with the same mentality, the same mindset, and they're truly trying to add value and working their ass off to do it.
Well, I would say that there's a vetting process that goes through it too, right? I mean, you're not just looking for anybody to help fill spots. There's a level of trust, especially from an entrepreneur perspective, for both of your guys' ends that I'll speak to, right? That you're wanting to protect your investment. Grover's going, hey, I got something new that I feel is the same thing, to where we're not competing, but it's like, you're right, everybody goes to the dollars, and it's like, but that's where we share the same vision is, if we are doing it for the right reasons, we're doing it for the industry, everybody's going to be A-okay.
Yeah.
And on top of that, time. You just got to you got to let it marinate for a little bit. You got to let it into you. It doesn't mean that you sit back and let off the throttle, but it's some of those things just take, talking to this person, the multiplier effect, right, of things starting to catch on. And that sounds like where you guys are now from a year ago, at least with Clear Commodity.
Yeah, we're really picking up the frequency, and trying to keep the frequency up. Shout out to my boy Ian I hired him about a year and a half ago to help produce some of these podcasts, just to take it off my plate. He's just been awesome. Actually, him and I worked together in television back in the day, so he knows how to find guests, schedule guests, get them produced and out the door. Just amazing. I need like 3 more Ians, so to get this really up and going. But awesome. Like, and you mentioned like those partnerships, and like the way we're approaching Clear Commodity Network is the same way that I approach Mining Stock Daily. I know that not a whole lot of people. There was always judgment when content producers taking money from issuers, from equities. I get it. So I take that responsibility very seriously, and so I try to hold a very high standard of companies that I work with, that I take money from. And one of them is, is it good management? Is it a good project? Is there movement forward? Would I put my own money into this company? And if it checks all 4 of those boxes, yeah, let's do it. And if it doesn't, then I have to like really think critically if it's a good fit
route you want to go.
Yeah, all business isn't good business.
Yeah, and so I have to apply that to ClearCom. And the discussion in the early days was about, well, how are we going to generate money? And one of my partners, he wasn't suggesting, but he said, well, we could just do like the Google banner ads. And I was like, fuck no.
Yeah.
I don't want to see, when Dino goes to the Victoria's Secrets catalog, that he's going to get Victoria's Secrets ads up on ClearCom. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't want the algorithm. Like, I want this industry focused, like people who see it and see the vision, respect it, like they want to get their stuff there. Like, it's the place to be.
Yeah, you don't want to sell
steadfast.
You don't want to sell your soul.
Yeah.
You can be somebody cheap that does it that way, or you can be respected and it takes longer and sometimes heartache and things like that.
I'm sorry to throw you under the bus, dude.
No, it's all right. I love Victoria's Secrets.
Actually, we're looking for them to be a sponsor. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll wear the stuff.
He does too. Got a couple of them hanging up in the studio.
So tell me how you came up with the name Clear Commodity Network.
So I live in West Denver in Wheat Ridge, and the Clear Creek runs through it. That also, you'll see some guys panning out there once in a while. Cool. It runs through Golden, right by the Coors Brewery. Starts up in higher elevation, obviously. So when my first business, the Mining Stock Daily, it was operated by Clear Creek Digital. So I like that. I like the word clear. It's precise. It's transparent.
It's my favorite color.
Yeah, mine too. And so, obviously, I wanted to keep that. And it's like, well, we're going to talk about commodities, and then we're a network of content. So Clear Commodity Network.
Gotcha. Yeah. Put it
so
all
instead
together.
of CNN, it's CCN.
No, ClearCom.
You get
I know that was a huge conversation in the early days.
Does your logo look the same?
Yeah,
for brand recognition.
Yeah. I'm the Jake Trapper of commodities.
I love that.
Well, then, so and now that you've got this and you're growing it, what's the vision for it? You're not done. I can tell that you're not done.
No.
So what does that look like in a year, 2 years, 10 years?
Well, hopefully, like honestly, we're actively trying to find some partners to help see it. There's things we'd like to do to help improve it, continue to add frequency. There's a couple verticals within the commodity complex we're not hitting that we'd like to do that. So we're having some conversations on how to do that. Cash flowing is a big thing. I want to take care of my people. So I think we're getting pretty close to where, there's a few things on the works that if we can't help it, like it's one of those things, man. It's like some of these hosts have been with me for a couple years and have never asked anything from me, and I have asked them for a ton. And so, like, if I can like recuperate, and give them something back, like, I will be forever grateful because they deserve it. After that, honestly, I want it to be that one-stop shop where if you're interested in what's happening in the commodities complex and prices, Clear Commodity Network, clearcommodity.net is your place to go. That's the first thing you think of. Nowhere else. So if you want to know soybeans, you want to know oil, you want to know gold, that's where you go.
What about price of tea in China?
Actually, there's a few interesting commodities out there. Like,
cocaine.
We want to pick up
cocaine out of Colombia.
Yeah, That's on the cheap right now, I hear.
That's right.
Can we start that podcast?
$10 an ounce.
But like tin is a really interesting one, which is hard to filter in on your on our data chart. Uranium's hard. There's a couple obscure like ag products like orange juice, which people really track pretty closely. And then, the coal side of things, like there's a whole vertical of coal pricing out there, which I honestly don't quite understand. But to be able to like provide that information there. So that API, once you like get all that data into an API, it gets really expensive. But that's something we need eventually to provide, because like once these things run, I remember like I was saying, like we're doing some basic like Google AdWords paid search in the background. Yeah. And so I'm working with a great consultant that I've known for a number of years. And I said, and she's like, I don't know your industry. I was like, you don't need to know my industry. But this is what's going to happen. One day, for some reason, one commodity is absolutely going to scream higher. And nobody's going to know why, but they're going to want to find out. So they're going to go to Google and they're going to put, why is palladium higher today?
Yeah.
And
that's where we want to be. Because in that search, that hot search will last 24 hours. But that's our window to create awareness. And we've seen it. So like when the gold was having its run, we got a bunch of people coming in from gold. When palladium and platinum were running, we got that. Actually, we're getting some traffic now from nat gas. Like nat gas is above $3 ETU now. That's been really impressive. And so we're picking up like it's just kind of watching these things that everybody depends on. Like we all depend on resources, and we're always pissed off when it's higher, unless you're into gold, unless you invest in the metals. But like things that we use when those energy prices or those uses, the tangible use of those goods go higher, it's upsetting. So we want to know why it's higher, and that's where we want to be.
But the cool part is you're gathering all the data to where you can start discussing trends and what should be coming up next in a certain amount of time frame.
And we're doing that. All the hosts and their guests are doing that.
Yeah,
which is great because everybody can look at a bar chart or a line graph or anything like that and get your quantitative data, but you're providing the why behind it with the qualitative data. And I just think that's phenomenal, dude. I think it's a genius idea. And thanks for reaching out and letting us be a part of that too.
Yeah, no, thanks for saying yes.
Absolutely,
it's really good to see you guys.
Thanks for coming up and introducing yourself.
What you guys are doing is amazing. Like I'm really grateful that you guys are doing it in the manner you're doing it. I've listened to a lot of your interviews, but I actually just seeing it, like I get it. Like it's so much fun. Like my stuff is all like crunched into numbers and what's making stocks, equities rise and fall.
But the people that we're podcasting is what makes those numbers crash or rise or whatever, to where it all works together. We're just in our own element.
But even the service that you're providing, and let's just call it Mining Stocks Daily, man, that's something that you're doing. The face behind that is you.
Dude, it's 3,500 episodes.
That's awesome.
I don't even, you guys are like, you were mentioned on the stage today, like, I think it was episode 189. I was like, dude, I don't even 189 was like 2019 for me.
Yeah. And so I guess, what have you learned? What's the biggest takeaway from all of your, whether it's
that's a really good question.
Mining Stocks or Clear Commodity Network?
I have learned a lot about grit. I've learned a lot about, there's days you don't want to do it and you just have to fucking do it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There's days where, when you put yourself out there, that you're going to get hate mail. And sometimes it's going to really sting. And sometimes you're like, this guy doesn't even know what he's talking about. I think I've learned a lot more. It's not necessarily, I've learned a lot about business.
Okay.
I think a lot about business.
Sounds like a lot of personal growth.
Yeah, a lot of personal growth, a lot of patience. But I would say, when you do content and you're putting yourself out there, like you can wake up one day and you didn't know what you said was so wrong, but everybody's upset with you.
Yeah.
And you remind yourself, don't worry, somebody is going to say something even dumber in 3 days, and you'll be off the hook.
Yeah. Yeah. This isn't forever.
This too will pass.
And I can delete that podcast if I need to. I'm in control.
I know you got to run, man. You got to catch a flight. So I do appreciate you, Dean. Before we get out of here, any last
No,
thoughts?
when you get out the Elko way, we need you to come to the studio.
Yeah, you guys, there's so much great exploration, great stories coming out of Nevada. If I may, just quick plug a few companies. Chad Peters with Ridgeline Minerals. They've been a longtime sponsor of MSD. He's a good friend of mine. Couple really excellent drill programs out there, like people should be paying attention to. Caleb with Headwater Gold, kind of project generation. They're doing some JVs, gold JV work as well. Just really, really, really good work. And then the Old Manhattan Gold District.
Yeah.
Is up and live. Scorpio Gold.
Really?
They're trying to figure out if these two old pits connect, and drilling results look real positive. There's a bunch of fresh capital that's come into this thing. Really rejuvenate that district one.
The mining industry is like the Goonies movie back in the 90s or 80s, right? It's like Chester Copperpot is everywhere right now.
Yeah. I mean, I just, on the exploration side in Nevada, it's still a wonderful place to go explore. You guys have done a tremendous amount of mining this stuff, but it's not even close to being all found. And there's just some really cool stories out there. So I just wanted to plug some of those.
Absolutely.
If people are interested. We've got a bunch of content, or at least go look at those companies and see what they're doing. And there's probably a lot more I've forgotten.
No, and what we'll do is maybe if you'll just shoot me an email, we can tag all of them in the episode notes. And
Oh, you should, because they're good boys.
And if you have a good contact, let them know that they're more than welcome to come on the show too.
Chad was the original person that took me to the Star.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Did you go garlic or no garlic?
Dude, I don't even remember. I was the spaghetti is what threw me off.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
In the 12-ounce petite?
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh yeah. Did you have a pecan?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, 7 of them.
So very, very famous Basque restaurant in Elko. People come from all over to eat there. Yeah.
Had to.
So-
All right, boys.
Did you
All right,
know
guys.
that there's underground tunnels underneath the Star
I did not.
that connect all the way through Elko?
Yeah. Where do they go?
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
All right, guys, check us out. Adios.
Peace.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning into this episode of the podcast. No, it was a quick one, but we want to thank Trevor for coming on. He had to catch a flight, get out of there. But what a cool opportunity to sit down with him. Somebody that we've been connected with, worked with for over a year. And to be honest with you, first time we got to meet him face to face. So very cool. Appreciate the Utah Mining Association for making that happen. Without them, we still might not have met Trevor. But having said that, man, a couple takeaways. I'm going to keep this short today. Good dude, solid dude that had a vision, that had a plan. I love that he took action. Got into the mining world basically because of curiosity and started his mining stocks daily. If you guys haven't checked that out, click the links because we will have it linked up. But very cool, quick snapshot of what's going on. And then to take that and evolve it into Clear Commodity Network, which Mining Minds is a part of. And what I think for my takeaway there is he's got this phenomenal idea where you have the numbers, you have the stats, you're talking about metals and energies and agriculture, pricing, but then throwing I always say it, the qualitative information up there. That's what his network to me provides. Is both things. You have the quantitative things and you have the qualitative things, the why behind it, explaining, you have people, other groups out there explaining what's going on. And Mining Minds is fortunate to be on there, man. We are the human commodity, right? We're the only group out there that's focusing on people, focusing on the human element. So to be a part of his group, super appreciative that we're a part of that network of great podcasters. And you can check out the Clear Commodity Network at clearcommodity.net. Again, we'll have that linked. Want to say thank you again, Trevor, for coming on, man. Hopefully we get to do this again. He's talking about maybe coming out this way, Northern Nevada, and we'll have him in the studio to chop it up some more and dive a little deeper. But before we get out of here, I want to say thank you, and we appreciate the opportunity that the Utah Mining Association provided to us. Not only were we able to get in there and have some amazing podcasts, we had the opportunity to meet some amazing new people, make some new friends along the way. We had a portion in there where we presented to the entire group So very grateful and very thankful for that. Nikki, Brian, your entire team out there, thank you to you guys. Thank you to the listeners. Please don't hesitate to drop a like, share, comment, or swipe right. We appreciate you guys. And if you're out there pounding roads, driving drifts, or pushing throughput, stay safe.
Yeah. This one's for the crews underground, for the haul truck drivers, the welders, the crushers, for the ones who make the world turn while nobody's looking. Mine and mine, let's dig in. Yeah, From the pit to the plant where the iron sparks fly, we talk grit, talk grind under that big sky. Dino and Grover got the mic turned high, breaking down stories money just can't buy. From the driller to the tech with the night shift eyes, we shine that light where the truth resides. Talk safety, talk struggle, talk pride inside. Man, it's the heartbeat where the people thrive. For Mine and Minds, we dig a little deeper. Stories from the soul, not a corporate speaker. Human element, it's the real truth seeker. Every week we rise, podcast speaker. For Mine and Minds, we dig a little deeper. Stories from the soul, not a corporate speaker. Human element, it's the real truth seeker. Every week we rise, podcast speaker. Yeah, copper, gold, silver, coal, you name it. We break down the process, the blood that sustain it. Presumption flow, the culture, the cause. The ones who made it happen, never counting the loss. We the Joe Rogan of the rock and the dust. Talking tough love, respect, and trust. From the hall road climbs to the mill line hum, we bring the stories where the real ones come. Mine and Minds, we dig a little deeper. Stories from the soul, not a corporate speaker. Human element, it's the real truth seeker. Every week we rise, podcast speaker. Mine and Minds, we dig a little deeper. Stories from the soul, not a corporate speaker. Human element, it's the real truth seeker. Every week we rise, podcast speaker. This ain't no suit and tie talk. Nah, this the grease-stained boots on ground law. From hard times to the times they thrive. Mine and Minds keep the culture alive. We salute the companies that back their crew, the ones that care and the ones that grew. From Nevada to Peru to the odds and minds, we link that world with the honest lines. Dino and Grover, yeah, they speak that truth. In a room full of miners, they the voice of proof. Plug in, tune up, and follow the signs. It's the sound of the industry.